If you're a parent walking into an IEP meeting, emotions can run high. You want the very best for your child, and sometimes that means speaking up when it doesn't feel right. But here's something that parents may not realize. There are certain things that parents may say in an IEP meeting that can actually hurt their child's case, even when they have the best intentions. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through 10 things parents should never say in an IEP meeting and what they should say instead. Understanding these types of items can help you advocate more effectively and make sure that your child gets the support they truly need. So let's jump in. Number 1, don't say, "I'm sorry to bother you." This is one of the most common mistakes parents make at the beginning of meetings. Parents often feel like they're being difficult or asking too much, but here's the truth. You're not bothering anyone. You are participating in a legally required meeting about your child's education. Instead of apologizing, say, "I appreciate everyone taking time to meet to discuss my child's needs." That keeps the tone respectful without minimizing your role. Number 2, don't say, "I'm not an expert." Many parents may say this when they feel intimidated by school staff, but here's the reality. You may not be the expert in special education law, but you are the expert on your child. So instead say, "I know my child best, and I'd like to share with you what I've been seeing at home." Remember, your observations are extremely valuable. Number 3, don't say, "Whatever you think is best," because this statement gives away your voice in the meeting. Schools are required to include parents as part of the IEP team. And if you say "whatever you think is best," then the team may be assuming that you agree with everything that's being proposed. Instead, try saying, "I'd like to understand all of the options before making a decision." That keeps you engaged in the process. Number 4, "My child can't do that." Sometimes parents say this when a goal seems unrealistic. But when you say a child can't do something, the team may interpret that as lowering expectations. So instead, try saying, "My child is currently struggling with that skill. What supports could help them develop it?" Now that conversation moves from support instead of limitation. Number 5, I don't want to upset anyone. IEP meetings are not about avoiding conflict. They're about creating the best educational plan for your child. Respectful disagreement is normal. Instead, try saying, "I see this a little differently and I'd like to talk through it." That keeps the discussion productive. Number 6, don't say, "I trust the school to do whatever they think is right." While trust is very important, blind trust can sometimes lead to missed services. Parents should always review the data and make recommendations carefully. So instead, try saying, "I'd like to review the data that supports this recommendation." And remember, data should always guide all IEP decisions. Number 7, "My child is just lazy." Now, sometimes I know that parents say this out of frustration, but statements like this can undermine recognition of learning difficulties. And many students with disabilities appear unmotivated, but they're actually struggling with skills. So you might say, "My child is having difficulty completing this work. What might be causing that?" That opens the door to identifying underlying needs. Number 8, "I don't understand any of this." IEP meetings include a lot of technical language. So if something doesn't make sense, ask questions. But instead of shutting down the conversation, try this. "Could you explain that a little bit more in detail? I'm not quite sure what that means." Remember, you deserve to understand every part of the plan. Number 9, don't say, "I guess that's fine." Sometimes parents say this when they feel pressured to agree. But remember this, you do not have to agree in an IEP meeting. You can take time to review it. Instead, say, "I'd like to take a few days to review this before signing." That's completely reasonable. And number 10, I'll just hire a lawyer. Threatening legal action early in the meeting can immediately make this conversation defensive. Legal support can be important in some cases, but it's usually better to try to keep the discussion collaborative first. Instead, you might want to say, I want to make sure that we're following the appropriate process for supporting my child. This keeps the focus on the child rather than the conflict. IEP meetings work best when parents are informed, they're calm, and they're confident. Your voice matters. You're not just attending the meeting, you're a critical member of the IEP team. And when parents understand the process and they communicate effectively, students are far more likely to receive the services they need.